In today's episode, a miraculous saintly intercession. Hello and welcome back to Encounters from Beyond the Veil. Coma, a medical term for a deep sleep from which sometimes there's no recovery. In today's episode, a woman is in such a coma, and it would take a miracle for her recovery. But a miracle just might come with the help of a saint.
All right, Mom and Dad, I'm going up to the college to pick up Harry.
Well, what time will you be back?
I'm not sure. I'll give you a call later.
On the afternoon of September 14th, 1995, 18-year-old Christina Bartasius left her home in Williamstown, New Jersey to pick up a friend at a nearby college, but she would never arrive. Just minutes after entering Interstate 295, Christina was involved in a life-threatening accident. Upon receiving news of the accident, her parents, Stan and Joanne Bartasius, rushed to the hospital, where they were escorted to a waiting room.
Mr. and Mrs. Bartasius, as you know, Christina's been in a very serious car accident.
She had ruptured her spleen, punctured lung, cracked ribs, broken nose. The main thing was that she had 3 hemorrhages in her brain.
Why is the chaplain here?
He's here for support, sir.
I didn't strongly believe that she would die, but the presence of the chaplain, I feared the worst at that point.
The next 24 hours are very critical. Right now, I need to get back to her.
We stayed in the waiting room for those 24 hours, and then after that, we stayed as long as she was in intensive care.
How is she today?
Still the same.
It wasn't until a week later that Christina finally opened her eyes, but it was a blank stare. Christina was catatonic, and the prognosis was not good.
I don't mean to discourage either one of you, but I've seen a lot of cases like this. I don't think she's going to get any better.
Christina, baby.
At that point, I prayed that God would take her. I did. I said, if this is how it's going to be, not because it's going to be a burden to my wife and I just didn't want her to live like that.
I just didn't think she was ever going to really completely come out of it, but still prayed and hoped, but it was heartbreaking.
It's a lousy day out. It's good to be inside.
As the months passed, Joanne and Stan stayed close by their daughter, even celebrating Halloween and Thanksgiving with her in the hospital. Christina remained in a catatonic state, even when she was finally sent home. It was Christmas, 1995.
Christmas was just really another day. We didn't decorate or anything. The family came in the morning and we exchanged gifts, opened the packages, but it just wasn't there. It was empty. Hi, baby.
Christina, Daddy's here.
Christina continued to show no signs of progress, but her parents refused to give up hope, providing round-the-clock care for her.
I get up every morning and it was like the same day every day, just taking care of her like a baby, only she's stiff and she's 120 pounds, you know, and all I would do was pray when my mind was clear, just to give me the strength to go on, you know, to be able to take care of her.
After months in the hospital, they were finally able to bring her home, but she continued to show no signs of improvement. And then, one night, something unusual happened.
I was particularly exhausted. I put the TV on and I kind of dozed off. When I woke up, the television was airing the life story of Padre Pio.
Padre Pio was an Italian priest who lived during the first half of this century. He had received a great deal of notoriety for the bleeding wounds that pierced his palms, feet, and side, the same wounds that Christ had received on the cross. He was also credited with amazing healing powers. Stan learned that a shrine dedicated to Padre Pio's memory was located in Bartow, Pennsylvania, just a short drive from the Bartasius home.
So I watched this, and for some unexplained reason that I really don't have an answer for today, I decided to write to the shrine and just ask for prayers for Christina.
A short time later, Stan decided to make his own pilgrimage to the shrine to pray for his daughter. During his tour, Stan learned more about the life of this famous priest. Julia Ciccarone is vice president of the center.
Thousands and thousands of miraculous healings have been attributed to the prayerful intercession of Padre Pio during his life and also after his life. Many, many scientific studies were done examining the stigmata themselves, and all of the doctors came to the same conclusion that the wounds were supernaturally imposed because they were not surface nor were they superficial wounds. It was just before Padre Pio died that the wounds disappeared, and there was not a scar nor a trace of the wounds left. In our center, we're privileged to have one of the gloves that belonged to Padre Pio, one of the brown woolen gloves that covered the wounds on his hands.
Stan requested to see the glove, which is kept in a frame under glass. He had brought one of Christina's shirts with him to lay on the artifact and pray for Padre Pio's help in healing her.
I felt a deep sense of relief, like a stone was lifted off my chest. It was very, very moving. When I returned, I had given the shirt to my wife, and she dressed Christina in this t-shirt.
You better check the stand.
Christina had turned 19 the day before, and leftover birthday balloons were still floating in her room during her regular physical therapy session.
Oh, honey, Aunt Betsy called.
Christina's eyes seemed to focus on one of the balloons floating near her bed. What happened next was truly astonishing.
She reached for one when it came towards her, and then the phone rang.
It was Christina's sister calling. Joanne guided the phone to her daughter, who actually took it and placed it by her ear.
Didn't say anything, of course, but it was there.
Oh my God!
I just felt that this was the beginning of something that's going to really start snowballing. And it did, but it was just a very slow snowball, you know, very, very slow.
Over the next 6 months, Christina's condition steadily improved, and by September 1996, she had fully recovered.
I very strongly believe that it was Padre Pio's intervention, with the Lord.
An impressive new shrine to Padre Pio now replaces the original location that Stan visited 4 years ago. In August of 1999, It's a Miracle arranged for Christina to visit the shrine for the first time since her miraculous recovery.
Oh, it feels magnificent to be able to walk in here and be physically and mentally okay. Every morning, I thank God that I have another day to live.
It's unbelievable that she's the way she is. When we went to get the last test done to see what exactly happened with her brain, there was no signs of any damage or anything. So that proves that it had to be a miracle.
The artist was commissioned from Northern. Even though there were hundreds upon hundreds of people praying for her, I'm so convinced that Padre Pio was the quarterback of all this. He's the one that put it all together, and she is today where she is.
What a miraculous and remarkable story that was. If you enjoyed that story and want to see more, hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. But that's all for tonight. Until next time, I'm Brad Polk for Encounters from Beyond the Veil.